Morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be. But you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. We love hearing from you. If you have a comment or success story or questions about our True Skin Health products or ingredients or formulations, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. That's brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites as well. For a one-time $25 fee, you can be in business for yourself, or you can also call 866-735-2470 if you want more info, 866-735-2470. And don't forget to check out our True Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Truthtreatments.com, we're adding products on there regularly, so if you haven't visited recently, you might want to take a look at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers. Nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our True Skin Health products. Truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so we have been diving into the quantum world, the electrical world, the consciousness world, the woo-woo world. People have been emailing me. You know, it's kind of like 50-50. I get a lot of emails here, and it's about 50-50 on the woo-woo thing. 50% of you like it, 50% of you don't. I don't know what to tell you. I don't consider it woo-woo. I consider it to be just how the fundamental nature of reality, how we're going to work. Even we haven't really dived into the whole consciousness aspect of everything, but guess what? Today, physicists say reality is information. Physics is information. There's a really cool guy named Thomas Campbell. He wrote a book called My Big Toe, as in theory of everything, T-O-E, theory of everything. The big toe is considered to be a theory that describes how reality is. And physicists have been obsessed with the big toe, the theory of everything, how everything is. Just a simple way to describe reality. So this guy wrote a book called My Big Toe. He's a NASA scientist, and he's also one of the pioneers of astral projection, and a very, very high-powered NASA scientist. When I say astral projection, I'm talking about this guy, Robert Monroe. I don't know how many of you heard of Robert Monroe. He wrote a book called Journeys Out of the Body in the late 50s, I believe, or maybe the 60s. Robert Monroe was just this conservative guy. He was a advertising executive. He was not a wild-eyed hippie. He didn't live in Boulder. He lived in New York City in the 50s and 60s, and he was a very famous, well-known advertiser, or owned a well-known advertising agency, I should say. So he's in the advertising business. And one day he went to sleep and had a dream that he was traveling and that he was conscious. Today we call that lucid dreaming, but he actually had a dream, and he actually started to have experiences. This is just a regular white-collar conservative guy in his 50s, I think he was in his 50s at the time. Anyway, so he wrote a book called Journeys Out of the Body, and then he wrote a couple other follow-up books to that, and then he started something called the Monroe Institute, where he taught people how to do this thing, where you go to sleep at night, and then you go and have experiences, lucid experiences, where you meet other beings. And this is, I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds wacko, I'm just telling you what he wrote. And he started this thing called the Monroe Institute, where they would create, he had a bunch of engineers create machinery that had certain frequencies. This is how he developed a whole system for pumping frequencies through headphones that you listen to, different frequencies and different sounds, and he somehow figured out a way to create a frequency milieu in the brain that allowed you to leave your body consciously. And he started this thing called the Monroe Institute. It's in Virginia. You can go there today. He's got a bunch of tapes called HemiSync. You may have heard of HemiSync. And anyway, so this guy, Monroe, and hired a bunch of engineers to build machines that would do the frequency, have the frequencies, and you can go there for $1,000. They'll teach you how to do it. They'll put you in these machines, and you'll have these experiences. That's all I know about it. I don't know much more about the Monroe Institute than that. But in any case, Thomas Campbell was one of the scientists who came up with the machines. He worked at NASA for many years. He's a very high-powered theoretical physicist, and he's got a bunch of YouTubes, and he's got this book called My Big Toe, and guess what? He talks about everything being consciousness, information. And this is not some airy-fairy, hippy-dippy guy. This is foundational, fundamental physics. Now, we haven't dived into that, but I plan on it, because I think it's really important to understand if you're going to be healthy, you have to have a consciousness of health. You have to have an awareness of health. That's how the placebo effect works. So if we're going to be honest about being healthy and being strong and getting rid of our disease, we have to be honest about where it starts. And it starts at like everything, at consciousness. Now, the next step from consciousness is electricity. That's what we've really been talking about here, is electricity. Everything in the world of nutrition is electrical. Everything in the world of chemistry, everything in the world of reality is fundamentally electrical energy after consciousness. It starts with consciousness. That's a little out there, I understand. So the next step is electrical energy. Everything is electrical. Stones are electrical, rocks are electrical, animals, plants, bacteria, fungi, planets, stars, moons, galaxies. The entire reality is electrical. 99.99% of the world, the universe, the observable universe, is plasma, which is electricity. It's electrified gas. It's a fourth state of matter. And, these are kinds of discoveries we've only made in the last 20 or 30 years. So your doctor can be forgiven for not really buying into this kind of stuff. Fair enough. Medical school, they don't teach you about that kind of stuff. And in our culture, we don't really talk about this kind of stuff. But from a scientific, theoretical, and practical physical place, we live in an electrical universe. Everything is more or less electrical. More or less. Nutrition is nutritional because it's very electrical in the sense that it supports the electricity in the body. A stone is electrical, but it's less electrical. Nutrition is nutritional because it's electrical. It supports electricity in the body. It supports bioelectricity. Nutrition supports bioelectricity in this very fascinating / complex way. It's fascinating and it's complex. I hope that the complexity of this whole stuff is mitigated by the fascinatingness of all this stuff. I hope you guys are more fascinated by it than confused by it. It's just unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. It's like science fiction times exponential, like science fiction to the 100th power. There's no way you can even imagine this. The bioelectrical nature of a cell and of tissue and of bones and of the body itself, not to mention the brain and the heart and these organs that are extra electrical, just a cell. So you can see that the more electrically valuable a food is or a supplement is, the better it's going to be for you. As it turns out, food contains masses of electricity, and nutrients channel and shunt the electricity and direct the electricity. And that shunting has to be careful. It has to be in just the right intensity and with just the right balance. You can't have too much electricity. It can't be out of balance. This is where the metals come in that we've been talking about, these minerals that we've been talking about, the heavy metals that we've been talking about. This is where all those come in. We'll talk about that. We'll continue talking about that when we come back from our break. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lots of lines open at 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com. And you can purchase longevity products off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the website. Brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com. For a one-time $25 fee, you can be in business for yourself. You can enjoy the tax benefits associated with having your own business, make your own hours, make as much or as little money as you like, $100 a month, $50 a month. You can just get your products at the wholesale price if that's all you want to do, or if you want to make $50,000 a month. There are people who are doing that. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. And also, if you're doing Instagram, do a hashtag Truth Treatments and follow us, and you'll get notified when we do videos. I'm doing skin health videos on Instagram, also on Facebook Live. At our Facebook page is Truth Treatments, I believe. And then Instagram, just search for pound. I'm still learning Instagram. I don't know it that well, but pound Truth Treatments, and you'll get our Instagram page. And I've got a lot of skin articles that I've written, skin posts, I should say, that I've written. So you get access to those as well. Lots of videos and all kinds of good health information, good skin health information at truthtreatments.com, at our Truth Facebook, on our Truth Facebook page, and also on our Truth Instagram page. All right, so we're talking about bioelectricity, the electrical nature of the body, electrical nutrition. Electricity has to be controlled. Stimulation can't turn into overstimulation. Just because stimulation is important doesn't mean overstimulation. It doesn't mean more is better. It has to be controlled. You can burn out your computer chips, so the electrons, the pieces of electricity, have to travel in these carefully architected pathways, carefully designed paths. They call them traces. You know what they look like. You've all seen computer chips. When it comes to nutrition, nutrition is electrical, very, very important. All the nutrients are electrical. Some nutrients more electrical than others. The nutrients that are really, really super highly electrical, the most highly electrical anyway in the body, are called metals. They're called transition metals, and those are the ones we've been talking about. Heavy metals, you've all heard the term heavy metals. Heavy metals are the transition metals for the most part. Not all transition metals are pretty close, though. A rule of thumb, heavy metals are the transition metals. And the reason they're problematic is not because they're heavy, it's because of their electronic nature. Now, it turns out that has a little bit to do with the density, but when we think of heavy metals, we all hear that they're toxic, but nobody ever tells us why. They're not toxic because they're heavy. They're toxic because they're electrical. They're super, 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 super electrical, and they're electrical in a negative sense. They suck up electrical energy. They don't give electrical energy. They don't deliver electrical energy. They suck it up. It's the opposite of what a nutrient is. A nutrient is electricity. The heavy metals suck it up. Now, they're important, at least some of them are, because the heavy metals are included among the heavy metals are zinc. Maybe, arguably, the most important mineral in the body. Do you know there's thousands of different chemicals and chemical reactions that depend on zinc? Thousands. Iodine. Everybody knows about iodine because they're selling all kinds of iodine products out there. Iodine is a heavy metal. Iodine is a transition metal, and iodine is also an incredibly important nutrient, and not just for the thyroid. And if somebody's giving you an iodine, by the way, for your thyroid, they don't understand the thyroid. Most people have hypothyroidism not because of a lack of iodine. It's really kind of ludicrous. Yes, you can have goiter if you have a lack of iodine. That's true. But most people's hypothyroidism isn't about iodine. So if your naturopath is telling you to take iodine for your thyroid, they don't understand the thyroid. But that doesn't mean iodine's not important for the thyroid, and that doesn't mean iodine's not important for other things. It is unbelievably important for the thyroid, for the glands, all the glands, for the brain, and it's a heavy metal, and it can be very, very deadly and toxic. Cobalt, another one. Cobalt is an essential mineral, essential nutrient, and it's so electrical, it's in computers. It's a highly prized electrical mineral, and it can be very toxic. But in tiny, tiny amounts, it's incredibly important. Selenium, too, by the way. Iodine, selenium, nickel. I know that sounds weird, but nickel is actually an essential nutrient. It's particularly essential for plants. What else is on this on the periodic table here? That's copper, of course. Copper, by the way, there's a very important relationship between copper and zinc. Zinc has to be balanced with copper. That's another thing about these transition metals, these heavy metal slash heavy metals, transition slash heavy. They have to be in balance. So you can have these things out of balance, not just intense, but out of balance. So for example, zinc and copper are in a certain kind of balance. In fact, that's one of the major balances is the zinc-copper balance. Iron, by the way, is not exactly a transition metal, but it's very similar. It has many of the qualities of a transition metal. Actually, now that I think about it, it actually is a transition metal now that I think about it. Probably the most important. Iron's another one. The misunderstandings that we have about heavy metals and minerals can be encapsulated by the misunderstandings we have about iron. Is iron good or is iron bad? You ever wonder about that? They tell you, oh my God, you got too much iron. Oh my God, you don't have enough iron. When I was growing up, it wasn't enough iron. Iron gave you energy. Now you can have too much iron. Iron's a really, really tricky, super tricky transition metal. That's the thing about these transition metals. They're really, really hard to understand because they're so labile. They're so flexible. But that very flexibility is what gives them their superpowers. So this sucking up of electrons, it creates a very interesting scenario. Wherever you have lots of electrons, you will find heavy metals. One of the most important places where electrons are packed is in proteins, particularly in sulfur proteins, but proteins in general. And these metals, these heavy metals, will attract themselves to the extra electrons in these sulfur proteins, and you get a whole class of proteins. They're very, very important and very important for aging. They're called metal proteins or metalloproteins. There's also the detox system depends on heavy metals. Lots of the copper is there's a really cool book by Sherry Rogers. I know I've talked about it before. It's called Tired or Toxic. And she talks about toxicity in the body as being a result of things like sick building syndrome. She talks about chemical sensitivities and chemical overload. And she emphasizes, she doesn't call them metalloproteins, or now they have metalloenzymes. She emphasizes nutrients for the detox system that activate metal proteins and metal enzymes. So copper is very important for the detox system because of its ability to activate these metalloproteins and metalloenzymes. They're detox substances. So copper indirectly is very important for the detox system. Same with manganese. And you wouldn't know that. We don't hear that a lot. Magnesium, calcium even probably plays a role. I gotta read Tired or Toxic. But in any case, these transition metals are also known, check this out, as trace metals. And these trace metals are what Dr. Wallach has been talking about for decades as being deficient in the SAD, Standard American Diet. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with you and your phone.
Many people...
Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. Got an empty board. Got lots of lines open for you if you want to share a success story, if you've got a comment, if you want to contribute to the conversation, or if you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, our True Skin Health products, the longevity products. 844-236-6010 is our number, and I love talking to our smart listeners. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and you should also make sure to check out our videos. Just posted a new video at criticalhealthnews.com on eczema, one of the more misunderstood dermatological conditions. Whenever I do talks on the skin, I always say nobody should have dry skin. Nobody should have sensitive skin. I don't say nobody should have eczema, but I might as well say nobody should have eczema because nobody should have skin problems. Skin problems, whether they're as mild as dry skin or as severe as psoriasis, are a sign that something's wrong in the body. Nobody should have eczema. And I know there's a lot of kids who have it, and I know there's a lot of adults who have it, but it's really just a sign that you're missing something or that something wrong is getting to the body. It's just as simple as that. And not only is eczema not necessary, it's actually a good thing, because eczema is telling us that something's percolating inside the body that's going to lead to heart disease, that's going to lead to cancer, that's going to lead to autoimmunity. And I don't mean to be dramatic about it, but that's just chemistry. That's just biology. If you're breaking down in your skin, you're breaking down metabolically. You're breaking down in chemistry. Dry skin is a metabolic issue. It's not a skin issue. That's so important, because dermatology doesn't do anything for metabolism. Nothing. Zippo. Nada. Zero. Null. Naught. Nothing. It's all, dermatology is all about the skin, but the problem is all about the metabolism, period. So anyway, eczema is a metabolic issue. We talk about it on our video at criticalhealthnews.com. Got lots of other videos, got lots of other blog posts, as well as news stories. criticalhealthnews.com, pharmacistben.com, and also brightsideben.com. All right, so let's see here. Olive oil could protect against Alzheimer's. Now, isn't that interesting? Olive oil, the much vilified oil, and I'm not a big fan of oils, but nonetheless, there's certain things in oils that could be helpful. That's another, we talked about how confusing the transition metals are. Oils are also a little confusing. Do I use oils? Do I not use oils? Doc says don't touch any oils. I say be careful with the oils, but use them, because I personally have seen incredible results when people start using essential fatty acid oils and when they start using essential fatty acid rich oils. I've seen it in animals too. If your dog has a lousy coat, start giving them some oils. Or your cat. Watch what happens. Eggs are rich in oil. Eggs are a great source of oil, by the way. You don't think about them that way, but they are. That's why eggs are used in baking a lot, because they emulsify oil and water. They're rich in both oil and water. An egg is probably maybe 80% water, but the other 20% is non-water. It's oil. And that oil sticks together, sticks in with the water via what's called an emulsion. And there are emulsifying agents in eggs, which make them very important for the digestive system. Yes, did you know eggs are very important for the digestive system? They're very important for helping the body process fats. So anyway, oils are tricky because oils are very high energy. And in nutrition, as we've said, as we've been talking, when something is super high energy, it's kind of a dual-edged sword. You need the energy, but the energy, super high energy, can be problematic. In the case of the oils, super high energy is very unstable. This is the downside to oils. They're very unstable to many things. And when I say unstable, I'm talking electrically unstable. Should come as no surprise, because we have been talking about electricity. So it should come as no surprise. We said everything's electrical. So when I say oils are unstable, I mean they're unstable electrically. They're unstable to heat. That's why you don't want to cook with your oils, at least the super unstable ones, the liquid oils. Liquid oils are the unstable ones. Solid ones are the stable ones. So we're talking liquid oils here. So the liquid oils, you don't want to heat them up too much. They're also unstable to oxygen. So you want to kind of keep them away from oxygen a little bit. They're also unstable to light, so you got to keep them in a dark place. And they're also unstable to moisture, to water. You want to keep water away. If there's water mixed in with the oil, that's going to accelerate the oxidation. Water is H2O. The O will combine with all of those electrons, all that electricity in your oil. Liquid oils are very electron rich, very, very. That's what makes them liquid as opposed to solids. They're flowing. They got all this electrical value. That's why you can run your car on oils or fats that come from grains. In Brazil, they use sugar. Actually, they don't use grains, but they use sugar to create oil, or you can do it with hemp. I saw an engine running on hemp seed oil once. Oils can, because of their high electron density, can be used to run machinery. And then guess what? The transition metals, iron and copper in particular, are pro-oxidants. They oxidize things. They speed up oxidation. In fact, one of the ways you measure how unstable a fat is with something called the iodine value. And if you're a chemist and you want to know how unstable or how prone fat is to become rancid, you ask for the iodine value. The lower the iodine value, the more stable the oil. Coconut oil is the most stable oil, probably. It's got an iodine value of 10. As opposed to soybean oil, which is in a lot of our foods, that one's got an iodine value of 130 or 140. Iodine value refers to the fact that iodine is going to react more or less readily with your oil. Why? Iodine is a transition metal. If you want to protect your oils, use vitamin E. Vitamin E is very protective. In fact, it's used in cooking to protect oils. It's used in nutrition to protect oils. And I use it in my skincare products. If I ever have to use an oil, I'm always putting vitamin E. In fact, just using vitamin E topically will protect your skin oils. And that makes vitamin E one of the most important sun protective and environmental protective nutrients you could ever put on top of your skin. You're not going to get skin benefits necessarily for wrinkles or for growth directly, but you're going to get protective benefits from vitamin E. Sunscreen products should always have vitamin E in them. Sunblock products, I should say, should always have vitamin E in them. Beta carotene will protect your oils. But the carotenoids in general will protect your oils. Most food products have their oils protected, or if not most, a lot of them, maybe most, with something called BHT. You may have seen that on your bread, or sometimes BHA. BHT is one of the most powerful oil protectors. It can be used. Dirk and Sandy Pearson write about it in their book Life Extension about using it for cold sores and as an anti-aging substance. It's not in your body. Butylated hydroxytoluene, technically, or butylated hydroxyanisole. So I don't really consider it a nutrient, but they did, and they thought that its antioxidant, its anti-rancidity properties could protect the fats inside the body. Maybe yes, maybe don't. I don't know. Phospholipids, lecithin has some protective benefits, and retinol also, vitamin A, another one of the benefits of retinol. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. Got lines open. And if you're on hold, hang on just a second. I want to finish this article up. 844-236-6010. Went on a whole rant about olive oil and oils, and I neglected to read this interesting article from the Annals of Clinical Translational Neurology. Olive oil could protect against Alzheimer's disease. Apparently, researchers at the Lewis Katz School of Medicine at Temple University believe that oil is the single most important feature of the Mediterranean diet for maintaining brain health and cognitive abilities. They tested the benefits of olive oil on 2 groups of laboratory mice. After 9 months, those fed the oil performed better in tests that evaluated working memory and learning abilities. Now, the problem with these kinds of studies is, first of all, it's mice, it's not people. That's one thing. But the second thing is you don't know what kind of olive oil they used. Was it rancid? Was it not rancid? Was it protected? Was it not protected? What else did the mice eat? There's all kinds of confounding variables. Nonetheless, there is a lot of evidence that talks about the Mediterranean diet. But here's the thing about the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet, yes, it is oil rich, but it's oils and veggies. Very important point. The combination of olive oil and veggies creates very powerful blood or circulatory supporting molecules. These circulatory system supporting molecules improve blood flow to the brain, to the heart, to the tissues. So it's not just the oils. It's the oils and the veggies that accounts for the benefits of the Mediterranean diet. That having been said, you got to use your discretion about oils. You know, some people say 0 oils. I don't believe that. Doc says 0 oils. I don't believe that. You know, but you got to be careful when it comes to oils. Anyway, there are a lot of benefits, and they're very demonstrable and benefits that have been replicated, repeated many, many times. So you have to make your own decision on oils. Personally, I'm going with them. Just be very, 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 very careful with them. All right, 844-236-6010. Let's go to our friend Barry in New Orleans. Good morning, Barry. What's up, buddy? Welcome to The Bright Side.
Good morning. I'd like to ask you about raw foods, because I do eat most of my vegetables, fruits, and everything raw, and most of the books I've read said this is better, so I want to know if you're in agreement with this.
Raw foods definitely have advantages. The enzymes are the most important advantage. We spent a lot of time a few months ago talking about the importance of enzymes. Enzymes help the body use energy. Without enzymes, just pure energy without enzymes is not a good thing. We get lots of energy in our foods, by the way. We don't have a shortage of electrons in our food. It's just that the electrons don't come with the enzymes and the coenzymes. You know, a lot of vitamins and a lot of minerals, for that matter, are coenzymes. Many of the transition metals are coenzymes. They act with the enzymes to allow us to use the electricity. These coenzymes and the enzymes are found in much greater abundance in raw food. When you cook a food, it doesn't take much, by the way, to destroy an enzyme. This is the problem with pasteurized milk. This is the problem with processed eggs or processed foods in general, where they take a good food and they process it. You destroy the enzymes. You keep the electrons. Electrons without enzymes are not a good thing for the body. Electrons without nutrients, coenzymes, are not a good thing for the body. So raw foods do have that advantage. However, especially in the case of veggies, they have a disadvantage. And that disadvantage is a lot of the nutrients tend to be tied up, tend to be locked up. So you got to kind of do like an analysis of the good side versus the bad side. Personally, I think you should steam your veggies slightly, just so they're slightly soft. And that will release a lot of the nutrients. It'll soften and break some of this, make the cells easier to break, so you can get some of the intracellular nutrients. You know, when you eat a veggie, you're 1% of that stick of broccoli, less, probably even 0.5%, becomes nutritionally available to your body. So you eat a pound of broccoli, you're going to get a microscopic amount of nutrition out of that anyway. So if you can improve the amount of nutrition you get from your broccoli by softening it, and it also has a bonus that makes it tastier. It makes it more palatable. When you cook a vegetable, it becomes more, you release the sugars. It becomes a little sweeter. So softening your vegetables a little bit, there is some advantage to that. I say go like 60-40, 70-30. What you definitely don't want to do is overcook. You don't want to spend you have most of your calories made up of cooked foods. And you want to be careful about processed foods. Processed foods tend to be highly heated, very, very cooked a lot as well. Even processed oils, a lot of oils that you'll see on ingredient decks. Processed food, whether it's a canned soup or whether it's box soup or macaroni and cheese or a power bar, whatever it is, processed food is majorly problematic for a lot of reasons. And one of them is the fact that you get all this energy without the nutrients that help your body access the energy. Even cooking a vegetable can throw off that balance. So I say 60-40, 70-30, and when you are cooking, just cook with as little heat as possible, just enough to soften the broccoli or the cauliflower or whatever it is that you got in your steamer. Or a braiser. You can braise it, just quickly braise it too. Does that help?
Yes, and could you maybe just repeat maybe one sentence? Because I packed up all oils after Dr. Wallach, but you don't see anything wrong with a little olive oil?
Not if it's I think small amounts of very carefully stored and processed and consciously utilized oils can be helpful for the body. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it. And I read the literature too, but I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with animals. I've seen it with people, especially with the skin. I mean, it's just, they're too valuable to me as a nutritionist and as a therapist and as a chemist and pharmacist, whatever you want to call it. They're too valuable to me to say just as a blanket statement, no oils. But I got to repeat, I said it before, I'm going to repeat it again. Doc is not necessarily wrong in the sense that they're very unstable, and unstable oils should not be used. In the skincare world, if you're looking at your ingredient deck and you should definitely look at the ingredient deck on your skincare products, guaranteed, if you got a moisturizer, it's going to have some kind of oil in it. For not necessarily 100%, 99% of the time, it's going to have an oil in it. And most of that is going to be vegetable oil that's rancid, and you don't want to put it on your skin. You don't want to interact with rancid oils. That's a fact. And that's where Doc is right. Where I disagree with him is I just see too many benefits associated with it, and I hate to throw out the baby with the bathwater kind of thing. That's just my take on it. You have to form your own opinion. That's my take on it.
Okay, but you said a small amount, a very small amount.
Go by your skin, go by your cravings. If you have dry eyes, for example, go by dry eyes. That can be caused by an oil deficiency. And the best kind of oils are going to be the kind that have what are called EFAs in them, essential fatty acids. Now, olive oil doesn't have any EFAs in it. So olive oil is not one of the best oils. It's got what are called MFAs, monounsaturated fatty acids, and those can be helpful for sure. But I'm going macadamia nut, maybe wheat germ oil. Hemp, probably the best oil going is hemp seed oil, interestingly enough. Hemp seed oil has got the perfect balance of omega-6 to omega-3s. It's very essential fatty acid rich. It's very tasty. I also like flaxseed oil. But all of these, to the extent that they're nutritionally valuable, are going to be unstable. You got to keep them in the refrigerator. You want to use them fresh. Olive oil does not have EFAs, so it tends to be a little bit more stable. But nonetheless, you do want to use it fresh, and you do want to keep it in the refrigerator, and you want to keep it. The best kind of olive oil is going to come wrapped in those wrapped with paper covering the glass. But do you know about fraudulent olive oil? Have you heard about this, Barry? There's a big problem with fraudulent olive oil. And because people's tastes aren't sophisticated enough to be able to tell the difference between cold pressed and virgin and all the different grades, a bunch of different grades of olive oil, and they have fraudulent. Not only do they have fraudulent grades, but they also have fraudulent sources. Some of them will say they came from Italy, and I said yesterday, Italy, Greece, and Japan tend to have the best kinds of oils and olives and veggies for that matter, and they live long because those are they're growing their plants in volcanic soils. The oils are derived from plants that have been grown in volcanic soil. Or if they're eating fish, the fish are eating algae and other fish that have enjoyed the benefits of oils derived from volcanic soil. So to me, my personal opinion, if you're going to go oils, is olive oil is okay, but go with more omega-6 and omega-3 rich oils, unless you can get that good volcanic stuff too. That might be, there's a case that can be made for that as well. Volcanic ash-derived oils. All right, Barry, got to go, buddy. Thanks for your call, man. Appreciate it. And thanks for listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Don't forget to check out truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. Join us on our Instagram Lives at #Truth Treatments or our Facebook Lives at Truth Treatments. And then also the longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Bye for now.